morning, everybody, and welcome to session 5 of our Represent series, which is all about our purpose and well-being here at NatWest Group. Welcome back to those of you who have joined a previous session with us over the past couple of weeks. And for those that have missed any of the previous sessions, don't worry, we will be sending you dial-in details or playback details, so you can watch them back if you did miss out. So our mission so far has been to give you a great insight into life here at NatWest Group, and a chance to engage with some really inspiring colleagues, which we hope will help you make a standout application. Today, we're going to bring our purpose to life and talk about how you can find a great place to belong here at NatWest Group. Talking confidently about our purpose and understanding what drives us forward as a bank will undoubtedly help you get into the employee mindset when you're completing your situational judgment test. And it's also going to be a really great discussion point for you at your assessment centre too. So we're hoping it's going to be really valuable for the application process. So we take our place in the world really seriously and believe that we only succeed when our customers, our communities, and the economies that we're part of succeed as well. And you'll see on this slide our purpose, which is at the root, which is to champion potential, helping people, families, and businesses to thrive. A career with us means that you'll benefit from an inclusive culture where individual strengths and working styles are appreciated and encouraged, and everyone can be the best version of themselves. You'll work and collaborate across our organisation, and you'll always get the support you need to make a positive impact with the work that you do. I'm Nikki, and I work in our early careers marketing team, and I'm going to be facilitating today's event for you. So today's session invites you to explore what purpose really means at NatWest Group. We're going to share our everyday experiences of how purpose comes to life in our work, and we're also going to help you understand more about some of the great initiatives that we have at NatWest Group that you could also be a part of if you do go on to join us. But before we do go any further, we do have a quick Slido poll to get a sense of how you're feeling and your understanding of purpose. So all you need to do is either scan the QR code there or head to slido.com and pop in the hashtag represent2021 and just pop in some words there, what comes to mind when you think of being purpose-led. And then we'll have a look. We'll be able to see everybody's responses and see how we're all feeling. All right, we'll have a look and see what people have popped in there. So some great responses coming through, and a lot of you are absolutely spot on. So we can see things about being goal-driven, driven by a goal, cause-related, mindful. So some great responses in there. And as I said, a lot of you are really spot on. So purpose is the reason for which something is done or for which something exists, and it can translate really differently across every organisation. So for us, our purpose is about creating long-term, deeper relationships with our customers. When our customers succeed, our communities succeed, our economy thrives, and we succeed as a result. So you'll see on the next slide that we've identified 3 key areas: enterprise, learning, and climate, where we know that we can really make a substantial impact. By putting purpose at the core of everything we do, we want to create a sustainable and resilient long-term future. Championing the development of young people, so our graduates and interns, is absolutely key to that purpose. It's no surprise that colleagues all across the bank have a real sense of pride in what we deliver for our customers and for each other. We don't try and hide the fact that we've got a really great place to work, and as part of making sure it's a great place to work for everyone, we're committed to providing 5 things for all of our colleagues, regardless of your job or where you are in the bank. And you'll see these on the next slide. So they are a fulfilling job, excellent development, fair rewards, great leadership, and a healthy and inclusive environment. So now that you've got a bit of context around our purpose and how that fits into making a great place to work, I'd like to invite our special guests to bring to life that even further and speak to their own experience of purpose within the bank. You might hear some of them mention work that they do with our employee-led networks, or ELNs, which are employee-led groups that look to drive culture change and challenge us to think about how we become more inclusive and accessible. The ELNs bring together people from all backgrounds who have one thing in common: that they care about building an environment that's inclusive and encourages people to bring the best of themselves to work. We have a wide range of ELNs, including we have an Enabled Disability Network, we have our Gender Network, our Multicultural Network, and loads of different ones. But you're going to hear more about them through our 3 speakers here today. So we are delighted to be joined by 3 colleagues in the bank. We have Honey, Bianca, and Lisa, who are going to speak about what our purpose means to them and how they personally contribute to this on a daily basis. So we're going to run this as an informative conversational style session, and you will get the chance at the end to ask some questions. So if you think of something, jot it down and you'll get the chance to ask that at the end. So firstly, we're going to be hearing from Honey. So Honey is our head of capital markets technologies. Honey, I won't steal your thunder. I'm going to pass over to you and introduce yourself and take it away.
Thank you very much, Nikki. So good morning, everyone. My name is Honey Adjoa. I am head of capital markets technology platform, and I'm also global co-chair of the Black Professionals Network, which is a strand of the bank's Multicultural Network. Now, my role on a day-to-day basis is very much focused on delivering the transformation of our capital markets business with innovative technology, outstanding teamwork, and collaboration. I am passionate about diversity and inclusion, and just to give you some context in terms of what I do on a day-to-day basis, capital markets, where I work, is one of the businesses in NatWest Markets, which is the investment banking arm of NatWest Group. So you can see that my passion about diversity and inclusion is also linked to my focus and passion on leveraging technology to solve real business problems, to bridge the traditional divide between data, technology, the business, and the customer. And my passion for both led me to co-originate, build, and deliver the Ventures Digital Social Mobility Apprenticeship Program. It was a pilot which was done alongside the head of Ventures, who's called Andy Ellis. And I did this off the side of my desk alongside my day job. The pilot was the foundation of the bank-wide Social Mobility Apprenticeship Program. And the focus of this program for the bank is to attract and recruit 250 young adults from systemically excluded backgrounds into the organization over 3 years. I also founded the NatWest Group Black Professionals Network, of which I am also global co-chair, as mentioned earlier, alongside Taiwo Yekong, who is head of culture and comms for the financial crime bank function, and Adam Mitchell, who is program director in the corporate and commercial technology team. Now, the purpose of the NatWest Group Black Professionals Network is to encourage psychological safety, provide well-being support, and a career development guidance for Black colleagues across the bank by creating a safe space for them to share their unique lived experiences, develop their careers, and uplift their local communities. The network also focuses on supporting a more racially open, inclusive, and progressive culture within NatWest Group, and working collaboratively with senior management in delivering on our colleague representation targets and quantifiable actions in working societally to dismantle systemic and behavioral barriers impeding the ability of Black colleagues of being truly able to fulfill their potential within the bank. And as we get into Black History Month, the theme for Black Professionals Network is Black Excellence. Black excellence is usually described as someone that is Black and portrays great qualities and abilities that make the Black community proud. Instead of the term being used to celebrate just a handful of high-profile careers, it will be used to commemorate all Black people who are striving to be the best versions of themselves. The view is that one of the ways to counteract centuries of negative myths and stereotypes about Black people is to celebrate and praise all Black people as excellent. So as you can see, colleagues within the bank are able to combine their day jobs with their passion for creating a more equal and just society. This also lends itself very, very strongly to our purpose as an organization. Our purpose, as you've heard, is to champion potential, helping people, families, and businesses to thrive. We do this by working together, doing the right thing, serving customers, and thinking long-term. It sounds good, but how does it work in practice? In practice, our strategy is to deliver on our purpose and drive sustainable returns to shareholders through 4 strategic priorities, as well as a focus on 3 areas where we can make a meaningful contribution to our customers, colleagues, and communities. This really means that profit is just a byproduct of doing the right thing. It's not the primary focus. So we look to do this by balancing the needs of our customers, our colleagues, our communities, our shareholders also by focusing on climate and sustainability. Without our home Earth, there's no point in running the business, is there? It's really, really important. We also look to share our knowledge and build the financial literacy of our customers so they're empowered to make the right financial decisions for themselves. And finally, we are also addressing barriers to enterprise with an ambition to be the biggest supporter of UK businesses and offer a wide range of services to those who either want to start a new business or scale up their existing businesses. Now, all the above makes this organization a great place to work, as it aligns with one's personal values. So your personal values of doing the right thing, wanting to be more, create a fairer, just working society, ensure everyone is included, aligns very much to our purpose as an organization, which is also about creating a sustainable, more equitable and equal society. So when you're thinking about applying to work in or working as a colleague in NatWest, do so knowing that there's a strong and active community of people who look just like you in nearly every strata and level of this organization, who are excited to meet you and are looking forward to supporting your aspiration of fulfilling your potential. So with that, I hand back to you, Nikki.
Fantastic. Thank you, Honey. And thank you for sharing some of the great work you do in your job, as well as outside of your job in the Black Professionals Network. So that was really great. Thank you. We're going to come to our next speaker now, and that is Bianca. So Bianca, would you like to come off mute, introduce yourself and share your story?
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Honey, as well. That was a great insight into our purpose and why we're so passionate and proud of working for this fantastic organisation. Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca Yao. I'm a Hong Kong-born British Chinese and have been living in the UK for over 20 years. I'm the Senior Branch Manager of Drummond's, currently also managing 2 other branch teams at Chow & Co and RBS Milton Keynes. So me and my teams are supporting our communities, our customers at the front line and making a difference in their lives. I have worked for the NatWest Group for over 16 years and can honestly say it is an organisation I'm proud to work for, and it is like a second family. I'm also honoured to be one of the 4 global co-chairs of the Multicultural Network, connecting with thousands of colleagues and leaders who are all very passionate about diversity, equity, inclusion and well-being. I first became a member of the network over 2 years ago, and since then I've been able to use it as a platform to connect with many colleagues and leaders in different business areas across the NatWest Group. It's opened up more opportunities for networking and personal development, but most importantly, it's opened up more opportunities for me to help others through events, development programs, and special campaigns. Our goal is to create a safe space for everyone to bring their best selves to work, be their true selves, and also develop their high potential. So this year, our network has supported the DEC's India coronavirus appeal, the George Floyd 1 year on commemoration, with working closely with Honey and her team at the Black Professionals Network, the Pride Month with our Rainbow Network, and many more. I was talking about the Fight the Virus, Fight the Bias campaign, which has been really successful, and that focuses on raising awareness of anti-Asian hate crimes and really creating a Love Asia culture. So, and we are working very closely with our Racial Equality Task Force to support our roadmap for positive change. And we will soon be launching various mentoring programs available to all colleagues across the NatWest Group to support career mobility as well. So there's a lot of work that we do as employer-led networks to, help champion potential, and it's a great opportunity for everyone to be involved. So I do genuinely feel very proud to be working for this organisation, and I hope that if you do decide to apply and you're successful, that you will find great opportunities along your journey with us as well. That's me, Nikki, back to you.
Thanks, Bianca, and I'm glad you managed to pop back in there. And thank you very much for sharing. I think it's lovely to hear that you feel like NatWest Group is a real family and a community, and I think that's amazing. So thank you very much for sharing. Lisa, we will come to you now. So it's your turn if you'd like to come off mute and have a chat and share your story. That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. So I'm a Human Resources graduate in NatWest Group, and I joined the bank in September last year. So I still think myself as a newbie. I only obviously joined during a global pandemic, so I finally am getting to go into the office and meet people in real life, which is amazing. But it definitely has still been a great year for me, and despite all the restrictions, it's not held me back. So what I want to do is kind of just share a bit about the life of a grad and all the different things that we can get involved in, and how that also ties into our purpose and well-being. So as a graduate, you rotate round, or as an HR graduate anyway, I rotate around 4 placements and they all last 6 months. So within my first 6 months at the bank, I was working on the development of a new benefit platform. So our current platform is called RBS Select, and it helps to make the bank a great place to work by allowing our people to exchange their pay for market competitive benefits, all designed to support colleague wellbeing, engagement and retention. However, RBS Select is coming to the end of its life, and we're now moving on to a new provider. So after being with our current provider for over 10 years, this was a really rare and new project that you don't get involved in every year. And so it's a great opportunity for me as a graduate to come in and have an input. So my main role was to review and improve the benefit content, which includes the details about all the benefits across our different jurisdictions, in order to make it easier for colleagues to understand. So by doing so, staff are better equipped to elect benefits that will meet their needs, which then enables them to thrive and thus helps us with our bank's potential. I was also involved in the look and feel of our new platform, and our purpose underpins so many decisions that we made here, from how we categorise the benefits to also the additional information that we want to signpost on the new platform. It's yet to go live, but once it does, I know it's going to be incredibly rewarding to see the small contributions that I made come to life and hopefully reflect the decisions and the purpose that was behind them. I also learned a lot about pension and benefits in general throughout this placement, and I quickly realised how instrumental a role the bank's purpose is in having in benefits and contributing to employee wellbeing. For example, climate. So it's now at the core of a lot of things we do. So electric cars and hybrid cars are the only company cars on offer. We're also able to make tax-efficient donations to climate-supporting charities through payroll giving. And we also invest pensions contributions into companies that score well on environmental, social and governance factors, as well as some great energy deals, which also helps when I've just bought a new flat this year. So it's been really handy. And then when it comes to wellbeing, we have things like bike to work, health assessments and private medical cover, to name but a few. And in my last 6 months, I've just finished my second placement. I was working within the restructure and recruit team. So they deal with lots of things. So let's start with the recruitment support team. So they create the vacancies and make them available for workday. So when you're applying to the bank, it's that team that posted them. We then have the video assessment team. So they supply and make the online tests available, so your situational judgment tests and things like that. And they also sit and assess the video interviews that you'll complete. So they're obviously key in ensuring that we're recruiting the right people that embrace the bank's purpose and they're committed to it and they're going to deliver and help us contribute to making it a great place to work. We also have the pre-employment screening team who undertake all the necessary checks such as proof to right to work and visas. We also offer a mobility hub within the bank, so it's a key tool with helping colleagues that are getting redeployed and reskilling them for future ways of work. The hub offers support to build different skills, develop a career plan and help colleagues move around internally or into opportunities outside the organisation. So hopefully you can imagine how our purpose is obviously embedded within these different teams. But an additional activity I picked up whilst on this placement involved reviewing our employee engagement survey and looking at ways that we could improve our scores within the department I was in. And this involved, I decided to introduce a leadership event which aimed to build leadership capability. Because obviously if our leaders are good in helping our people to thrive, then obviously we'll all champion our potential. There's also so many things that you can get involved in outside of your day-to-day role, one of which is employee-led networks, which obviously Honey and Bianca have covered so well. But just to cover another couple of things that I've been involved in is a gender network in NatWest Group, as well as an enabled disability network. So when you first join, there's so many different things you can get involved in, and it's hard to think, well, what can I commit to? I don't know how much I can do. But what I love about the employee-led networks is that you can get as involved as you like. There's so many different roles. So you could do it on an ad hoc basis, you could be a committee member, or you can also just be a normal kind of member like me. I just like to follow, support the networks and go along to events. So for example, the vision of the gender network in NatWest Group is to be a place where everyone, whatever their gender, can achieve their full potential. Their mission is to champion female potential and create a gender equal environment. So they achieve this through a range of events and initiatives, all of which are summarised in their regular newsletters that come out twice a month. So there's so many activities to get involved in, from book clubs, guest speakers, networking events, lean-in circles where women and men come together to support each other and connect over shared experiences. Also with Enable Disability Network, what I love about this one is that the bank utilise this network really well in trying to improve our products and services within the bank to make them accessible for all. So that can be internal things such as our staff intranet, but also some external products that we get used by customers such as Cora, our chatbot that helps external customers with banking queries. And then also as a graduate, just a final little note from me, we get to be part of graduate councils. So there's 5 graduate councils that you can be a member of if you wish. We've got the Candidate Engagement Council, the CSR Council, Innovation and Development, Marketing and Communications, and then the Graduate Connect Council. So all of which are an opportunity to get involved in something outside your placement while building your skills and engaging with fellow graduates and business networks. So there's 2 main roles within councils. Again, you can be a council lead or a council member. So I'm a member of the Graduate Connect Council, and we aim to promote graduate cross-promotion, programme integration and wellbeing through sports and social networking events. Just to give you an idea of the kind of things this can involve, we maybe look at physical wellbeing. So you've got things like a step challenge. We have a Strava running club, Deskercise. It's amazing what you can actually do via Zoom in a virtual environment. And we also have social wellbeing initiatives such as our graduate coffee club. So once a month, graduates get paired with different people. So it's just an idea of broadening your network and getting to hear about other programs and how other graduates are experiencing the bank. We also have offered cooking classes, murder mysteries, and game nights. So it's just a great way of getting to know each other and, like I said, improving our social wellbeing in our networks. And when leading on activity, you get to take on full end-to-end ownership from planning, communicating, reporting, and evaluating. So you're able to personally develop a range of skills whilst also doing something that is benefiting your wider cohort and you're getting to get involved in yourself, which I find really rewarding. Outside of that, there's just so many other opportunities, such as our Dream Bigger programme that I'm involved in, which looks to develop transferable entrepreneurial skills for 16 to 18-year-olds across the UK. So there's us giving back to the community and helping them to thrive, because we're aiming to drive confidence and preparing them for the future world of work and to bridge that gap between school and working life. I've also been involved in volunteering for the conservation volunteers. So I spent the day up the hill in Edinburgh crowning trees, which was really good fun. And also I volunteered for the Princess Trust, helping them with some mock interviews and helping their young people get into the world of work as well. So yeah, that was a bit quick probably and lots going on, but I just wanted to really emphasise how much there is to get involved and how purpose and well-being is just there constantly in everything that we do. And that's what makes, for me, NatWest a great place to work, because there's a purpose behind everything that we do, and I personally can relate to that. So back to you, Nikki.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lisa. And I think that was super useful to see all the different things you can get involved in as a graduate, not even just as a graduate, just within the bank. So thank you for sharing, and thank you to Honey and Bianca for sharing as well. Before we go to the audience to ask their questions, I'm sure we're going to have a few coming through. I'd love to just come to each of you and just ask what your top piece of advice would be for anyone thinking of applying to NatWest Group. So Honey, we might come to you first. What's your top piece of advice?
My top piece of advice would be yourself, because it's really, really important to ensure that what your values are aligned to the values of NatWest. And from what you've heard, it's a great place to work, it's inclusive, it's a place where you can combine your day-to-day role with things that you're passionate about. So feel comfortable being yourself, and that would really, really work in your favor.
Yeah, I would say find your happiness through purpose. Understand what your purpose is, what your goals are. Like Honey said, be yourself, be authentic, be bold as well. Run to the fire. That's one phrase that I keep reminding myself. If there's something that you want to achieve, go for it, and believe in yourself, and understand that there is a great support network around you, especially in the organisation that we work for.
Great, thanks, Bianca. I love that run to the fire. I think that's a nice way of thinking of things. And last but not least, we'll come to you, Lisa. What would your piece of advice be?
I think mine would be just to do your research and be committed to your application. I think especially if you're a graduate applying to, I know a lot of people are applying for lots of different companies, and I appreciate that, but I think if you relate to the bank and you value what we stand for, take the time, do research and put time into your application and the whole process, because it really does pay off, and it'll make you even more excited about getting a job here.
Great, fantastic. So hopefully that's some advice that you can all take away. But we do want to give you all a chance to ask your questions as well. So as Michael said at the beginning, to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll bring you into the main room to ask your question live. So we would encourage you to ask your question this way, because it's a really good practice for you to get comfortable speaking in a virtual environment. You're going to go through, if you move through our process, you'll have a video interview, you'll do a virtual assessment center. So it's great practice. So be brave, ask your question. If you really don't want to come into the main room, we do have a Q&A box down the bottom that you can, of course, use as well to ask your question. So if anybody wants to come into the main room, let us know. I think we've got one in here. We've got Zidane. Hello, welcome.
Hi there, do you hear me okay?
Yes, no, I can hear you, and welcome back.
Hi there, sure. Thank you very much. Firstly, I'd just like to thank all the panelists for sharing your stories and advice about the firm. I had a question for Honey, and that was, I'm interested in capital markets and the investment banking arm of NatWest, which obviously based on your background, I was interested in what you think the qualities you personally find are important to enter and succeed in these kind of roles.
Thanks for that question, Zidane. When it comes to the capital markets and the investment banking arm, I think the qualities that really helps in being successful in the role is attention to detail, curiosity. And when I say curiosity, that means exploring much wider than the current view. A lot of times, most people will think in investment banking, all you need to do is be able to crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
But what is really important is being able to understand what's going on in the environment, in society, in business. And then that helps in terms of you coming up with solutions for specific customers in different sectors. So to reiterate again, attention to detail and curiosity. Those are really, really important qualities.
Sure, thanks. And I was also interested that you mentioned your activities from your involvement with the Black Professional Network. And I was just interested in, based on your experience, how has the growth been in the diversity within investment banking through graduate roles and even promotion to upper management roles?
Okay, so I would say that in terms of investment banking in that part of the bank, we are still doing quite a lot in terms of promoting and ensuring we're fully representative at the top high echelons of the organization. But what's quite interesting is the fact that from an entry-level perspective and mid-career perspective, there's quite a bit of diversity, but it's not in the proportion of society. And that is what we're really, really working on. I enable the capital markets business with technology. And luckily enough, because of the Black Professionals Network, which is global, we're able to see through and understand different functions and business in the organization and how diversity is actually promoted where they are. So we have the CEO of the NatWest markets, who's very, very hot, very committed to ensuring that his line managers, as well as the pipeline coming through, are as diverse as possible. But like every organization in that space, there's a lot that we still have to do.
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Zidane, and thanks for coming in and asking your question live. Appreciate it. I can see we've got another person in our room here. So we've got Tanya. Tanya, would you like to ask your question?
Hi. this feels a bit weird just talking over the call. I already work for NatWest in customer service, and I'm finishing my degree this year, hopefully, and I've applied for a graduate program. All I want to know is, do you guys have any tips or advice on how I can succeed in getting the graduate role?
So it's a great question. So firstly, great to hear that you've applied. I think given that you already work for us, that's going to be helpful for you. But I would have a really good understanding of your motivation for applying. So throughout our application process, you will be sort of questioned a few times on your motivation. So I think being really clear on why you're applying for a graduate scheme would be my first piece of advice. And then the next piece of advice would be to understand our critical people capabilities and think of ways where you maybe have demonstrated that. You probably have some really great examples, Tanya, for how you've done that through your day-to-day job. So understand those 5 critical people capabilities and come up with examples would be my advice there. I don't know if anybody else, Lisa, if you've got some advice from when you went through the process, what helped you out? What do you think sort of got you through the process?
The critical people capabilities would probably be the thing for me, because I had applied 1 year for the bank and then never got it, but I kept my feedback I got from the video interview, which I really think helped me going forward. But no, I think you just covered everything, Nikki, that I would say, your motivations and your CPCs.
Fantastic. And also for people listening in, if you're not sure what our critical people capabilities are, we did a session on this last week. It was our applications and interviews session. So when the playback details come out, do make sure you go back and have a look at that, and you should be able to see what they're all about, but it will help you out. So Tanya, hopefully that helps answer your question there.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki.
Fantastic, and good luck.
Bye.
Excellent, thank you. Have we got anyone else that fancies asking a question? So no silly questions. We're here to help with anything at all. We've got no raised hands at the moment, but I've got some questions that I thought I could ask you guys, because we do have a bit more time left to go. The first question is, I think we'll come to you, Bianca, on this one. I was just interested. You've obviously worked on a lot of different stuff, but what's the best thing that you've worked on? Is there anything that stands out that you think I really enjoyed doing that?
Oh, wow. You know what? It's so hard to pick one particular one because I just enjoy doing all of them. I do spend a lot of time in my own time to support the network. And I think that the best thing about it is being able to connect with others and actually create a platform where people have a voice and be heard as well. But if I really have to choose one, I have to say the reciprocal mentoring program that we've got from the Multicultural Network is essentially a program where you can connect with one senior leader from any business areas of your choice, and you have like a monthly or more frequently, if you like, a monthly sessions to talk about different topics. So it could be unconscious bias, it could be, how to further your career, opportunities in different business areas, or it could be, specific racism examples, how we could take actions to fight those challenges. So it creates a platform for junior colleagues to connect with senior leaders and have a safe environment to discuss potentially very sensitive issues. I think that's one program that I really enjoyed working on, and hopefully we will make it a success again in 2022. We're about to launch it again next month. So very exciting.
No, it sounds great. And I think having a program in place for mentorship is great, because a lot of people don't know where to begin with it. They know it's a good idea to have a mentor, and I think doing a reciprocal program is great. So thank you very much. Lisa, I've got a question for you, which I think could be useful for the people on the call to hear, is just how did having an understanding of who we are and our purpose help you when you made an application? Did you do a lot of research into it? I know you sort of mentioned do your research, but how did that help you when you applied? Yeah,
definitely helped a lot. I think when I always prepared for the interview, I always thought, like, why NatWest and why HR? So why had I picked that program and why NatWest? And I definitely think knowing the purpose and what the bank stands for and its values as well is probably a good thing to look into, as well as our 4 values, and learning them and incorporating them into your answers. I really think it's important to plan your answers. Those, if you're using the STAR method within the actions, just try and think, how does that relate back to how the bank, and it'll make your interviewer, they'll just be sitting ticking off in their head thinking, oh, there we go again. So yeah, definitely.
And then I'll ask one more question, which I guess you could probably all put a bit of input in, but if you were interviewing a candidate, say at an assessment centre, what sort of things would stand out for you from someone you might have been interviewing? So Honey, we might start with you. Have you got anything that you'd be sort of looking for, you're thinking that was a standout candidate?
It's quite interesting because I take I take an active role in assessment centres. I wasn't able last year because anti-corona, but generally, so when it is, I am in the assessment centers and I'm interviewing people, the things that stand out to me is exactly what was stated earlier: doing your research, understanding the organization, understanding our purpose, what impact we want to make on society. That's really, really key. Another thing is also understanding how we're different from our competitors. That's important as well. But when it also comes down to our critical capabilities, things around innovation and how we solve traditional challenges with new technologies while putting the customer at the center of everything we do, those are the type of things that really, really stand out to me. But obviously, you wouldn't be surprised about that. I'm a bit biased since I work in technology. So that is quite key for me as well.
Amazing. Thanks, Honey. And hopefully you're able to help out some of the virtual assessment centres this year and get involved as well, given your experience. We do have another live question actually here that we we'll come to in a minute. But Bianca, were you about to share there what might stand out for you? And then Grady will come to your question after that.
Yeah, sure. So I am part of the bank's diverse interview panel, which is again another fantastic initiative that we just recently launched. I think for someone to really show that they have a growth mindset, I think compassion is really important as well. And anyone who has the kind of the energy there and the passion to be in the role that they apply for, that's really important. And having the edge and innovative ideas, I think that's another important element as well.
Great, thank you. And hopefully both of that has helped everybody with some ideas of how to prepare and what sort of things that we will be looking for at an assessment centre day if you do make it to that part of our process. So we'll ask Grady, is that how you say your name? Apologies if that's wrong.
It's Virgilio, it's fine. That was the surname.
Right, okay, there you go. Welcome to the main room.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I was wondering if I could ask a question about the Coutts graduate programs. I don't know if this is the right environment to ask about it. Okay. Because I'm having like a bit of a hard time to kind of like understanding the difference between like the coverage and the affluent graduate programs at Coutts, and like how that differs from like a normal private banking graduate program at Coutts.
I think a good thing to do would be to try and reach out to maybe people that are in the different programs, whether that be on LinkedIn, because I think the graduates that are in the programs are the ones that are best to speak to you about exactly how they work and the difference between them. But we also have we've got a brochure, an online brochure this year that outlines all of our different programs. It goes into detail on them. It has some videos from different graduates within those programs. So what we can do is I'll take a note of your email address. I'll send you that across and you'll be able to have a look at that. But I think
that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, that should help you. But my advice would be try and speak to people actually working in those business areas. I think they're going to be best placed to probably answer that for you. So people are generally very comfortable to have a chat with you over LinkedIn, or even if you wanted to pop in a 10-minute virtual coffee chat or something just to hear a bit more about it. I think that's going to really help with your knowledge on those.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Thanks, Virgilio. Thanks for asking a question. Excellent. Well, I don't think we've got any other questions at the moment, so we might just bring that to a close. But we hope you all found that really useful today and valuable, and you're feeling a lot more confident to make a standout application now that you know more about who we are, what we do, and what drives us at NatWest Group. Our applications did open last Monday, so make sure you have a look at our website. Take some time to choose the right program that's the right fit for you, because you can only make one application. So make sure you do spend some time, choose the one program that you're passionate about and that's the right fit. We don't have closing dates on our programs this year, so they will close once we've got enough applications to fill our assessment centres. So we would strongly encourage you to apply early so that you don't miss out. But again, make sure you do think about what you'd like to apply to before you apply. And we'd also encourage you to use sessions like today and the rest of the series to learn more about the bank and our culture as well. And we've got a drop-in application session this Thursday, so you can get all the practical advice that you need. So do just come into that. If you've got any questions about your application at all, or about who we are, what we do, come to that on Thursday, and we'll have a whole host of colleagues there to answer your questions. But that is it from us. So thank you very much for coming along, and thank you to Hani, Bianca and Lisa as well for speaking today and sharing their experience. But we'll hopefully see you at our next few sessions. Good luck if you apply as well. Bye, everyone.